painting the edges of a wall, exterior in particular, where they meet a completely different material, such as in this case stone, can be quite a challenge to paint. I want to show you what I do in order to get this painted. Using any brush, it could be a 4-inch or a 3-inch in this case. Just want to show you what I do to get that paint in there. If you lift the brush, that's when you're going to get it on that block. So just watch this. I'm simply pushing the brush against the block and making a very nice line of it too. And if you don't take your time here, chances are you'll blow it. Rule number 2, put a lot of paint on that brush. You are surprised when you see how much paint is consumed when you do this. And the reason is because all of these nooks and crannies consume a lot of the paint. Now that plastic is on there not to protect the stone from what I'm doing, but it was to protect it from the spray above. Painting outside is obviously very different from the inside. Now, just to show you what we're working with, this also gets very sloppy. This is not the brush of a proud painter, so to speak. But this is necessary to have a lot of paint on that in order to make a substantial progress in getting this surface painted. What you see is you're making a puddle on that edge, right? And then after you land the brush, after you put the paint on it, when you first land the brush, you're kind of leaving the paint where you first land the brush, and then you're simply moving it over, which is what I'm doing now. You see that? Just moving it over into that corner. Now I sound like Bob Ross. Just a little happy tree there. But you get the idea. And what you wind up doing is making a nice new line. If you just gently but aggressively, I'm pushing hard there, you want to get that nice and even too. This way you're not all over the block. It's very easy to lose it, lose a consistent line if you rush it. Rushing it's going to make a mess of the job. So again, look, this is where I land it, right here. And now I just push the paint over after I land it. Now here's another tip number 3. The least amount of time you take the brush off the surface, the less amount of splatter you're going to have. You see, when you have this much paint on the brush, if you keep taking it on and off, what you're doing is creating splatter. You can't see it, but after you're here for 15-20 minutes, you look on the floor beneath you, you'll see a lot of little splatter marks from this, because what you can see is that the bristles are flicking the paint, and so if you're not careful, you'll have paint on the floor. And so what I'm trying to say is just leave the brush on the surface. All you're going to do is just move that bristle, that brush back and forth without lifting it off the surface. Does that make sense? And this is after many years of trial and error that I share this tip with you. I used to paint a lot of interiors, and when I would do that, when the woodwork trim was dark in particular, and the wall next to it was light, such as the color that I'm painting now, you would see tons of little splatter marks on the adjacent wall. What I realized is that these bristles flick when you do this. You see when I'm doing that? You see how the bristles go up? Well, they're throwing paint when you do it. So if you leave the brush on the surface, like I'm doing here, you don't see me lifting this. Lifting it is what makes the paint jump off the bristles onto the surface where you don't want the paint, which is your floor or the adjacent surface. And there you have it. When you're painting an uneven surface like this, a highly textured exterior wall, it's very important that you use a brush that can handle a lot of paint. Of course, according to your own capacity too. And you just want to push that brush in, especially when it's eye level. You know, you're going to see the lines that you make or the ugly lines that you don't make because you can't get your bristle in. How about that little area? How are we going to get the brush? Well, you're in control. You just take that brush, you manipulate that, and push it in. If you lift it, you wind up painting that block and you can't get the paint off of it. So my suggestion here is simply push those bristles in nice and easy, nice and evenly, and nice and easy as well. See that? That's all. Anybody can do this. It's really a matter of just somebody who knows telling you, and then you having the patience to carry it out. That's really all it is. And that's it. See that? See how it works? Nice and easy, right? Don't try to put tape on this stuff. It's not going to work. And the wind will just take it right off. All right. As I finish up this video, all I'm going to do is dress up these lines that I'm doing here. Just by going back up and down over them. And by the way, you want to put so much paint on this that you only have to do this once. You don't want to be doing this twice. What I want you to do though, when I say twice, you don't have to wait till this dries to do this again. You'll do 2 coats simply by this. Watch, 1 down and then 1 up. And the reason why you go up and down is because you know that this surface is so highly porous and bumpy that if you go up and down, you'll cover the crevices on the bottom and then the ones on the top when you simply reverse the direction of your brush like I'm doing here. Okay folks, if you like the video, please click on like, subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you think. Show me how you do it. I know you guys in the UK have fascinating ways of painting and wallpapering. I'd love to hear from you. Please click on like and subscribe to this channel. I'll see you on the next one.